The Ellen Greenberg case remains one of the most controversial unsolved deaths in modern history. In January 2011, Ellen, a 27-year-old teacher, was found dead in her Philadelphia apartment by her fiancé, Sam Goldberg. She had 20 stab wounds to her body, including 10 to her back and neck, as well as defensive wounds on her hands. Despite the violent nature of her injuries, her death was ruled a suicide by the medical examiner, a conclusion that has sparked widespread debate. Ellen's family and independent experts have questioned the suicide ruling, citing the number, location, and severity of the stab wounds as inconsistent with self-inflicted injuries. They also raised concerns about the lack of a thorough investigation, including issues with the crime scene and how evidence was handled. Police stated there were no signs of forced entry or struggle, but critics argue this does not rule out foul play. Theories about Ellen's death center on the inconsistencies between the evidence and the suicide ruling. Experts have pointed out that the number and severity of her wounds are highly unusual for a self-inflicted death. Some theorize that Ellen was murdered and that the scene may have been staged to appear as a suicide. This suspicion is bolstered by claims that Ellen's fiancé, who discovered her body, had access to the apartment and was reportedly the last person to see her alive. Others suggest a third-party intruder could have entered through an unlocked door, though police found no signs of forced entry or struggle. Critics of the investigation have raised concerns about the handling of evidence, including a lack of forensic testing on certain items in the apartment. The case has also led to questions about Ellen's mental state. Some reports claim she was experiencing anxiety and had started taking medication before her death, which might explain the initial suicide ruling. However, her family insists she was not suicidal and continues to push for a reclassification of her death as a homicide. Over a decade later, Ellen's family continues to fight to have her case reinvestigated, insisting her death was a homicide. The case has drawn significant public attention, fueling ongoing discussions about justice, forensic science, and investigative accountability.